Drake basically blasted everyone who betrayed him and changed their minds. When I was observing you, cooking with you, and sharing verses and bookings with you, what did I miss? Man, making sure the Ys were whacked. When you were all in my crib hoeing word for word at every show, what did I miss? Man, I always felt like this. How did I miss? With everything bursting in hip-hop at the moment, including the commotion with Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, and others. For a moment, let's face it, it was quiet. Fans were attempting to enjoy the vibes without any conflict as Tyler, the Creator, released a new album. Of course, some people simply cannot allow that to occur. Real artistry is never celebrated by Drake and his devoted Oyo gang. Like attention-seeking clout chasers, it's about stealing the show. Rather of allowing hip-hop to flourish, they disrupt the celebration in the most tiresome manner imaginable. In his latest song, Drake criticizes LeBron James. How did I miss? LeBron is now the target of Drake's latest surprise release, and he hasn't stopped shooting. What was it that I missed? LeBron James's decision to flip sides during the Kendrick Lamar feud appears to be a slight from the 66 Ice God. I've been a part of the beloved writing group since the headlines, but I saw Bro at the pop-out with them. He concludes by criticizing Bron for having a party with Kendrick, following years of Drake's support. Drizzy is calling out all the bogus love, even from a king, as the Iceman era finally begins. On what ought to have been a momentous day for the culture, Drake and his following were attacking both Kendrick and Tyler, but then another well-known figure entered the fray. LeBron James, of course. Additionally, LeBron's recent action has internet access buzzing. He went all feral and essentially shut Drake down, giving the impression that he had just won a feud that Drake had no right to initiate. Drake's name-dropping of LeBron in his diss tune, The Heart Part 6, was the catalyst for everything. What was it that I missed? Making him the focus of the drama and hurling unwarranted criticism. Drake then went one step farther and had a tattoo of LeBron removed. Yes, a tattoo of an adult man was changed to that of SGA, another NBA star. LeBron, however, wasn't engaging in any of the juvenile antics. He gave a forceful clap back. The message was obvious and didn't require any words. He's finished teasing. Someone who acts like this. Petty. LeBron James was seen having a good time with his wife, Savannah, by his side in a now viral video, appearing totally unconcerned. What Did I Miss? Drake's latest single off his upcoming album Ice Met isn't being held back. He is pursuing all of his buddies that betrayed him during his spat with Future's Kendrick Lamar, including Travis Scott and even LeBron James. In reference to Rick Ross's incident in which he was punched in the left eye after performing Not Like Us at a Canadian festival, Drake begins by saying, "Niggas get punched in the face with some TLC, kindi, on a dead eye. Some CLC, guays, 'cause you gonna need a chilly ice pad for your left eye." Drake then adds, "Aye, bro." Not Like Us blared in the background as the two went crazy, rapping every word as if it were their anthem. What really shocked fans was how well LeBron knew the lyrics, better than he's ever seemed to know anything. But it didn't stop Drake from addressing LeBron James, who was spotted dancing at Kendrick's The Pop-Out concert in June 2024. It must have hurt to see LeBron and Savannah weave into a song that has become the unofficial anthem of Drake's opposition. But it's even better because it felt natural and they weren't performing. Savannah was right there with him, matching his energy, word for word. This is the exact kind of thing Drake can't stand. For the cameras. They were simply shown enjoying themselves and demonstrating to the world how unconcerned they are with Drake's constant antics. The video showed that LeBron has obviously moved on and isn't playing Drake's games. And second, while Drake continues to take low blows and obsess over, it's a bad look for Drake, who once again finds himself looking like the bitter one in a feud he shouldn't have started. Even worse, this isn't just a loss. It's a L handed out by an NBA legend who doesn't even rap. LeBron is out here being the bigger man, enjoying his personal life, fighting another rapper, since Kendrick Lamar Duckworth and Aubrey Drake Graham have been at odds for 10 years? We'll start with the Drake and J. Cole song, First Person Shooter, where J. Cole refused to accept the loss with grace and instead continued to act out, turning themselves into a full-fledged circus, once again entangling the entire rap game in their mess. Cole claims that the big three of rap music are Drake, Kendrick, and himself. Kendrick then answers, "The big three don't exist. It's just Big Me." 3 days after the song's release, J. Cole apologizes and delivers a diss of his own. "You guys adore Kendrick Lamar, right? I do too," formally ending this beef. In his disses, Drake claims that Kendrick Lamar's son is not biologically his, that he is experiencing relationship problems, and that Lamar physically abuses his fiancée. Kendrick then calls Drake a rap colonizer, claiming that he simply visits Black cultural touchstones to steal their accents and slang in order to create music. In addition, Kendrick claims that Drake is a pedophile. As of right now, Drake has been the last to respond, but the general consensus is that Kendrick Lamar has won this feud. Drake has been overly vocal during his live performances lately, especially when it comes to Kendrick Lamar. He employs pedophiles and also operates a sex trafficking operation through his home called The Embassy. There's more to unpack because his entire tour is gradually becoming a full-fledged anti-Kendrick campaign. But it's not just Drake making noise. His OO fan base went even farther, accusing Tyler, the creator, of copying Drake's new album, making Kendrick's performance on stage seem less like competition and more like a straight-up obsession. To be honest, I don't care. They even claimed that Tyler attempted to make his own version of Nokia. The disrespect was unbelievable, and the comparisons were illogical. But this is the kind of vibe emanating from Drake's camp these days. LeBron is more than just a basketball player, you know? That's one of my best friends. Drake takes you like I'm letting you down. You have a good time playing in front of your boy, Drake. That's my brother, man. We support each other in whatever we do. What I said was that I can never let you down. Before we even get to how messy this has gotten, it's obvious that Drake's crew is acting like they're allergic to peace. Do you think LeBron James is still the GOAT after being weird to Drake? He was really supporting that song called Drake before going to the pop. That's crazy. Drake got a tattoo of LeBron, and now he covered it up. It doesn't matter because you know I'm okay. Tyler's relationship with LeBron James is what's really got Drake hot right now. Drake's fans may be upset, but the facts are facts. This drama wasn't just happen, it was manufactured, and it's backfiring, in a big way. As this train wreck unfolds, it might be time to acknowledge that they brought this heat on themselves. When you add up all of this, the outbursts, the petty shots, the failed takedowns, you can see that Drake has created a mess that he can't fix. That move alone seems to have set off this sudden wave of resentment, leading to what appears to be a full-scale attempt to bring Tyler down. But instead of making Tyler look bad, it's just highlighting how miserable Drake seems to be acting. In the hip-hop world right now, Drake's recent tour stop felt more like a never-ending loop of JJ Fish than a high-budget show, and the stage design barely made the show. The tipping point his is all a blur. It's as big as the What tour with Party Next Door, which at this point sounds about as fun as listening to paint dry. Drake was in full autopilot mode during the show, pacing back and forth as usual and doing what could only be described as the opposite of stage presence. The setup was the same as his usual Anita Max Win setup, with a few extra lights added to hide the fact that hardly anything is happening. Fans essentially paid for an OVO karaoke night rather than a live performance. Drake and LeBron used to be family, but now they hate each other. Drake really looked up to LeBron, even getting a tattoo of his famous high school jersey. However, once the Kendrick Lamar beef began, LeBron was seen rapping along to Kendrick's first song. His fans stuck to what has become their go-to move as he wandered around the stage. Drake unfollowed LeBron James, And when the USA won the game, LeBron was rapping it nonstop while Kendrick dropped Not Like Us. He even attended the Kendrick Lamar and Friends pop-up show, and his wife was spotted courtside wearing a PJ Lang shirt, which LeBron even shared on Instagram. Without mentioning LeBron, he congratulated Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, and Kevin Durant on the Olympics. There was no promotion for Drake's music, no mention of the albums or hits, just more hate directed at someone else. The crowd repeated the same old chant, Kendrick, repeatedly, just like at Wireless Fest. For Drake, that moment says it all. That chant has become the last thing holding his fan base together. Not the art or the music, just a mutual resentment at another man who outshined them all, and Drake's response is the strangest part. You can actually see him absorb it all in the video. He doesn't stop it. He welcomes it. He finally spoke to the crowd, grinning and adding, "I can't say that I don't agree," but you could see the spark when the chant exploded, as if it gave him the validation he's been longing for. Drake then abruptly returned to a set list full of unmemorable songs that hardly make an impression. At this point, Drake's performances are beginning to feel more worn out than ever, as if the passion has vanished, the creativity has been sapped, and the brand is dwindling. Rather than rising above, he's consuming negativity, hoping that rage alone will keep the crowd going. But in actuality, it's only making him appear more washed out as a performer and artist. At the moment, Drake is fully leaning into the chaos. Encouraging his LeBron James's feud with Drake is becoming more and more irrational. The two have been at odds since LeBron James danced to Kendrick Lamar's diss song on Drake Not Like Us. As a result, Drake has a one-sided feud with LeBron. LeBron James's fans continue to push the only thing Oyo seems to stand for lately, hating Kendrick Lamar. Remember that Drake has been making subtle jabs at LeBron James since the Kendrick Lamar incident, and LeBron James has not responded once to date. This is by far the most one-sided beef that LeBron has ever had since his feud with Drake, and it was recently revealed that he covered one of his LeBron James tattoos with a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tattoo, with Skip Biz, because LeBron James is trying to decide which team he wants to play for next season. Drake is doing everything in his power to get his attention. As a result, and to be honest, that may be a noteworthy accomplishment in and of itself, but it's not the kind of accomplishment that most fan bases take pride in. What Circle is doing is actually hurting his brand. They've taken what was once one of the most prestigious hip-hop labels and made it into a meme by transforming the energy of every show into a Kendrick smear campaign, name-calling Kendrick, fabricating stories, and saying that the entire Kendrick tour is somehow about Drake. It's crazy. Drake hasn't been mentioned once by Kendrick and his fans, who are too busy celebrating their music. Drake's diss tracks only became live content because he decided to take things to court, which is why his shows now mostly consist of stage deposition skits. This is reactive rather than creative, even during the again. Let's ask the real questions. Who's really winning here? Who looks obsessed? The results are obvious. One artist and his fan base seem completely cooked by this beef. The Not Like Us rollout during the Super Bowl followed a similar theme, demonstrating that Kendrick's team is still controlling the narrative without saying a word. Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, if I had to guess what was on your playlist, I'd be like Kendrick. The other one just keeps dropping music and moving forward with their fans. Drake or Kendrick? Kendrick. You look like a Kendrick type of... But what I would say, in a positive way, is that Drake earned my respect. You know, dude, when it comes to music and putting together successful records, you have to give that boy his credit for being able to market himself and produce at the same level year after year, bro. No, that's Stocker dope, I said, adding that I'm a rapper. Rap. He sings. He's the whole package. You can't deny it. Activism is what, in my opinion, makes Kendrick stand out, but underneath it all, it appears to be a diversionary strategy. Rather than confronting the current shift in hip-hop and admitting how others are capturing the cultural spotlight, Drake is obviously playing into this obsession. He knows these moments go viral and is purposefully giving his fans what they want because he knows it keeps his name trending, appears desperate to maintain his position by any means necessary. Given Drake's recent actions, it's incredible to see someone approaching 40 vying for attention more vehemently than some of the loudest clout chasers in the game. It's also revealing why his career seems to be in decline because, rather than growing, he's stuck in this cycle of petty jabs and desperate moves. Kendrick. Yo, for serious. I'll give you $100,000. You can do what? Chose. Grab me a shot. I'll drink today. Let's do it. It's not enough, but it's not enough. The energy emanating from Drake's OO camp right now reveals something deeper than just their problem with Kendrick Lamar. If anyone needed evidence that this fan is serious, here it is. Can you name me 3 songs from Kendrick's album before GNX? Bro, not a single song. Thank you. Just take a look at how bass has been responding to the creator Tyler's most recent release, Don't Cap the Glass, his 9th album. While it has received a lot of praise, one segment of the hip-hop community, the OIO Dies, is tearing it apart. This isn't just criticism, though. It's resentful, unfounded backlash that screams jealousy. The hatred isn't limited to music. It's more than that. They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. Once upon a time, we'll all send chains. Drake's crew was obviously not going to show love because Tyler has made it clear that he supports Kendrick. However, what really made things worse for them was that Tyler included LeBron James in the mix. LeBron can be seen in the music video for Tyler's lead single, Stop Playing With Me, a song that's the circle is getting smaller as Drake is trapped watching Tyler, Kendrick, and the Clips all release high-level content while LeBron demonstrates sincere support for it. The only people who remain on Drake's side are Kevin Durant and the top 5. Because Tyler has naturally established himself in a respected space with authenticity and artistry, Drake somehow loses again, which is all the more cruel because Tyler isn't even beefing. He's just doing what he does. Innovating, creating, and having fun with music in a way that only a few artists per generation ever managed to do. How much is your outfit? And I have no idea. This isn't even out yet, but this LV has the unreleased item on. I'm wearing my official team, Custom Brioni. You can see the name there. I believe it's number 11. Crocodile Tom Ford shoes 15 chain even. When Tyler isn't attempting to compete with Drake's insecurities, everything changes. Maybe the first $1 million outfit on Cop's channels is the custom progressive diamond link, Jason a Beverly Hills like 200 Richard Mille, R69750. I like the crown, man. We want to know how much 3 free what 3 mil cat made his own boys. In them type selling till they get away. In the midst of this huge cultural moment for hip-hop, it's becoming more evident than ever that Drake simply cannot handle not being the center of attention. He has been desperate to get into the spotlight, even when he isn't contributing anything, like a Hall of Fame-level clout chaser, significant to the genre. Rather than pushing boundaries or elevating the culture, he's out here watching everyone else have fun and evolve, while apparently growing resentful from the sidelines. This is exactly what's happening right now between Drake and Tyler, the creator. There's more to the whole LeBron James situation than that. Drake's crew, particularly his ardent OVO fan base, appears to have launched the same stale strategy they used against Kendrick Lamar, targeting anyone who doesn't give Drake credit or dare to forge their own path, is being used to brand Tyler as a fraud in a silent campaign. Hey Kendrick, wanna play speed golf at 5:30? You talking about boy? It's 5:30 in the mothering morning. No, and here's the pattern. OO supporters attack everyone who doesn't bend down to Drake like their #1 public enemy. Now, they're targeting Tyler, saying his latest album, Don't Cap the Glass, is unoriginal, uncreative, and somehow stolen, in their wildest opinion. However, this isn't about a double standard. They're even accusing the track ring of being a copy of Drake's Nokia. The comparisons are so ridiculous that they're almost comical. They claim that Drake was criticized for doing something similar, while Tyler was praised for creating an album that was inspired by dance. It comes down to execution. Drake's attempt didn't reach the same level of resonance as Tyler's, which isn't hate. It's just the reception. To argue that Drake is unfairly disliked while Tyler is given a pass is to overlook the fact that one artist is changing. The backlash from Drake's fanbase isn't a sign of some great injustice. Rather, it's a reflection of frustration that someone else is doing it better and getting embraced for it. The truth is straightforward. One artist is releasing albums that are new, inventive, and truly good, while the other seems stuck chasing relevance. No matter how loud Drake's fans complain about how different Tyler's album is supposedly, the fact is that Tyler didn't need to sample a squeaky bed or use gimmicks to create something that pushes music forward. Other is releasing music that's getting dragged because, let's face it, it just doesn't hit. And now that Drake is pursuing, Tyler, who just performed 6 sold-out shows across New York and New Jersey, is really crazy. That's almost as many shows as Drake did on his most recent tour. So it's absurd to see these fans accuse Tyler, one of the most creative musicians of this generation, of being unoriginal or somehow copying Drake's style. They're even out here claiming that Tyler used Nokia to create a song that's probably Tyler's work, especially this new album, is about to become a big hit. Let's face it, if anyone listens to it and thinks he's copying Drake, they've completely lost the plot. The comparison isn't even close. Tyler's album obviously expands on the world he created with Igor, but it goes far beyond that, experimenting with new textures, The first thing some fans do is yell copycat, which isn't just a lazy response. It's an insult to the art form itself. If your only point of reference is Drake's catalog, and the moment an artist enters a new lane, you start screaming clone, it's time to take a step back and reconsider the entire discussion. When you look at the evolution, the impact, and the risks taken, Tyler has carved out a lane so distinct and unique that even placing him in the same creative box as Drake just demonstrates a complete lack of understanding about music. Tyler has continuously advanced culture, while Drake's recent endeavors feel like they're running in the same direction. Drake's biggest moves at the moment seem to be slapping emojis on album covers, starting TikTok dance trends, and reducing Tyler's artistry to a recycled version of one of Drake's least experimental albums. That's disrespectful not only to Tyler, but also to rap, creative growth, and the entire idea of artistic expression. When you compare all of that to what Tyler, the creator, is doing, it's impossible to compare. Tyler isn't just making music, he's redefining what hip-hop can be. He's aging in reverse while singing some pretty dubious lines, ones that many people avoid even mentioning because OVO fans tend to get defensive quickly. Tyler is far ahead in every aspect. He is the Andre 3000, Q-Tip, or Pharrell of this generation. An artist who consistently reimagines the sound, pushes boundaries, and establishes new benchmarks for what is feasible in the genre. And true rap fans can see it clearly. Every time a new artist emerges or a groundbreaking project is released, Drake's fan base reveals how little they seem to care about the development of the genre they claim to support. It's less about the music and more about defending a brand that isn't changing. Drake and his circle, meanwhile, are stuck in their feelings and have become the rap scene's joke. Manages to attract attention, the spotlight is moving farther away. Drake appears to be stuck in a rut, repeating the same old formulas and falling behind, while artists like Kendrick and others are pushing the culture forward. Eventually, the line will be obvious, with Drake standing in one direction while rap moves in another. Drake won't be able to disrupt the momentum of a genre that is finally having fun, experimenting, and thriving again when the time comes when the culture completely separates from the drama and gimmicks. What's happening now is undeniable. The new generation of rap stars is redefining the space, and Drake and even LeBron, who's typically on Drake's recent actions involving both clips, and Tyler, the creator, speak volumes, and not in the way he'd probably want. At this point, it's evident moment by moment that he's fading out of the conversation, and the majority of people genuinely don't care anymore. The pulse of hip-hop trends are beginning to look out of touch with what's actually moving the culture. Or what you're witnessing is a rapper who was once at the center of everything now spiraling, more concerned with control, numbers, and optics than the craft itself. Drake seems to be losing the very identity that once made him important, and the twist is that fans are supporting it. With every new moment, Tyler, it's clearer when Kendrick or even Pusha contributes that the people advancing the art aren't the ones following trends or power. Rather, they're the ones inventing, producing, and keeping rap interesting. Drake still has fans, and yes, some of them are loud, but as Pusha and Malice have already cautioned, the way things are going now, those who are holding on to this outmoded version of Drake are just removing themselves from the center of the culture. Which may be a good thing, because what we're witnessing is a clean break. A move toward a new and fresh version of rap that could finally restore the vitality, inventiveness, and cultural significance we haven't fully experienced since the Golden Age. The art is becoming more sophisticated, the culture is evolving, and the individuals standing in. What do you think about Drake's run-ins with Tyler the Creator and Kendrick Lamar? How crazy is it that OVO fans are now pursuing Tyler after everything he's done? Let's discuss it. By the way, they're just exposing themselves. The remarks that follow. Additionally, remember if you liked this analysis, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment on keep up with everything that's happening in the hip-hop industry.